Hi everybody, my name is Robert Lemieux. You can call me Bobby. I want to talk about autism today. I am firsthand going to explain to everyone that I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I have a high school diploma. I've never been to college. My own research and studies. I also believe that I am what you would call high functioning autistic or Asperger's syndrome, which I do not think is exactly considered a condition, but, well, maybe it should be, maybe it shouldn't. But that's a conversation topic for a different day. Um, when you Google autism, a developmental disorder of variable severity that is characterized by difficulty in social interaction and communication, by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. Early 20th century, originally with reference to a condition in which fantasy dominates over reality, regarded as a symptom of schizophrenia and other disorders, which, as I believe, is only half right. Maybe a quarter right. Fantasyland. If you've ever watched an autistic child, um, they want to play games, their games and their games only. They really don't care what you want to do. They're in their own world. It's just how it is. I mean, that's a lot of kids in general. Keep in mind, I'm generally speaking, and I'm not a doctor, but I'm going off of what I believe. I've diagnosed, and I use the diagnose very loosely because, as I said, I'm not a doctor. I believe I found 3 autistic children this year. All right. I believe these are the signs, which I also suffer from, I might add. My right ankle, my right knee, my right hip. I'm in excruciating pain every day, but that is another conversation topic for another day. But I believe, and this was even one of my cousins, that signs can be seen as soon as 1 year old. Weak right ankle, weak right knee, dips to the left when walking. I believe this is due to a more dominant right side of the brain. My personal belief that the definition of autism should be, loosely put, one's inability, depending on severity of autism, to differentiate between right and left cognitive thinking, causing what appears to be a behavioral problem. The example that made me write this. I write music, poetry, short stories, maybe like a Stephen King, if you would. Nothing like a Stephen King, but like I said, short stories. I'm over here in Drake at Mass, and he's right up there in Maine, not too far. First horror story author I could think of off the top of my head. But all right. So the example I wrote to further prove my theories. My neighbor knocked on my door as I was thinking of words for a song to help him with his tractor. As I went outside to help him, it was as if I was lost. I could not understand him at all. Even when I went back to my house to collect myself, I went back to my house to collect myself. I was able to switch to the left side of my mind. I was able to repair his tractor. When I felt lost, I experienced a lot of different emotions, mainly anger. Once, as I believe, I got to the left side of my mind, I was calm, allegedly known as an autistic fit. Now, if you are a doctor watching this, you might understand what I'm saying. We were just talking about how early 20th century believed that you lived in Fantasyland. And some do. And I believe there is a specific way to train an autistic mind. I believe that there's a certain procedure to understand and teach an autistic mind to be able to be more social, to be able to be more productive in today's society, if you would. I believe that, I mean, a lot of this, and I've read countless pages and books and stuff online. And I mean, there hasn't been any real studies since the 70s on autism. It's kind of one of those things where people look at it as like, yeah, it is what it is, and so on and so forth. I mean, you could ask your general public how uneducated they are. You could see how uneducated they are when it comes to autism. When you say the word autism, the first thing people think is Down syndrome, which they're two completely different things. Completely different. With this being said, I am in the process of trying to open a not-for-profit organization to further help what I believe are, for some of them, autistic geniuses. I believe that I am clinically diagnosed with ADHD. So I have not been clinically diagnosed with autism. I'm telling you I'm high-functioning autistic. And I would challenge any doctor to contest that. And I'm also slightly dyslexic depending on the day. I believe those three together form what would be considered, what I consider, an autistic genius. I feel like we've been looking at this the wrong way for a very long time, and that it's time we take another look at the autism, and that we take another look at my perspective and take on autism. There's tons of research needed, and I have done self-tests on a bunch of different levels that we are not going to discuss right now. I simply wanted to just get this word out that I wrote this about a year ago. It's just been a very rough year for me. And I've come to the realization that I need to get the word out. Otherwise, I mean, I would love to speak with people like Jordan Peterson, who I believe is a scholar in the industry for psychological behavior and just understanding the human mind. I just got so many pages here of different self-tests and everything that I do not want to entirely get into right now. I also, I don't know if I've said already in this video, we're not going to use the word diagnose because I'm not a doctor. Please understand that. I believe I have found 3 autistic children based off of my, what I would call signs of autism. Physical signs of autism in children as young as 1 year old. As I said in the beginning, the signs can be seen as soon as 1. Weak right ankle, weak right knee. Dips to the left when walking. I believe this is due to a more dominant right side of the mind. I believe, I mean, if you really listen to what I'm saying, it just makes sense. You understand? I believe that this is really the truth about autism. And with the 3 children that I found this year with these physical signs, 2 of them with these physical signs, and one of them I watched having a fit one afternoon. And that was, and believe me, the mother wasn't very happy after she found out that that was the facts, because of all the doctor's appointments that she's went through and everything else. And no, the doctors didn't realize this, and well, I did, and I've never spent a day in college in my life. But I really appreciate everybody listening today. Jordan Peterson, how you doing, buddy? I am a huge fan. I watch tons of your footage, and I would love nothing more than to discuss my findings with you. I think this is a major deal, and as I said before, I'm in the process of starting a nonprofit organization to, I would like to travel the world. I don't believe this is just something that should be studied in the United States. As much as I love my country, I believe this is something that should be studied throughout the entire world as a joint, like everybody. I believe we should all understand autism a little bit better. I believe there hasn't been enough study. As I said earlier, there has only been like the amount of studies since the 70s. Everything I read, there is nothing current of studies done on autistic children today. So with this being said, I'm glad everybody, I appreciate your watching what I have to say. I have plenty more on what I've done for self-tests. I would appreciate your input. And please click and subscribe. This is probably my second video, so I'm sorry if the quality didn't come out too good, and it was kind of just a random thing, but I needed to just get it out there today, and that is what I just got done doing. So hopefully, with this being said, the ball will start moving a little faster, and I could reach my goals, and that is to at least help 5,000 kids. I'm sorry, 5 million. At least 5 million. I made a promise to a friend. Thank you for watching. Please click and subscribe.